Hello everybody, so today we have an intermediate full body workout on your at-home reformer. So bring your reformer to a comfortable spot in your house, set it on top of a mat to prevent it from sliding, and then just come in front of it and we're gonna take a few deep breaths in and out to get us set up and just present and ready for the workout. I want you to remember that this is just 20 minutes, so I want you to give it everything you got. It's gonna be nice and challenging. You're gonna get a nice good sweat on, so here we go. We're gonna start off really strong. So come onto your feet, you're gonna get a nice big stretch here. So touch your hands all the way down to your toes or the floor if possible, and then inhale, reach up, and exhale, bring your arms down through center. Good. You have 2 more breaths here. Last one, inhale and exhale, dive forward and place your hands onto the reformer, slide the reformer out and come to a plank position. So here you're just gonna hold. We're gonna bring everything to the center. You're gonna immediately start to get things really fired up. You're gonna feel this throughout your whole entire body. So pull up in your waist more and curl your tailbone down even further. Good, you guys are already killing it. So just hold here. Keep going. Again, when it gets challenging, just remember it's such a short workout, so I want you to really push yourself to failure. Keep going, keep holding. Like I said, we're already jumping into a little bit of a challenge. Sometimes just simple non-movement movements are actually really great and can challenge us even more because there's nothing to think about. So all we can think about is the pain that we're experiencing or the uncomfortableness that we're experiencing. You should never be feeling pain, but it should be uncomfortable. Good, and now we're gonna start moving. So keeping your legs in a piked position, pull the reformer in towards your toes into a pike. Good, so you're gonna lift your hips up and pull the reformer pedals towards you. Amazing. Really keep that waist pulled in. It's all about control. So it's not about how many reps you can do throughout this whole thing. It's really about time under tension. So the more you can control and engage every single muscle and really think about squeezing everything in tight, the more you're gonna get out from this. Keep going. Really pull from your center. So as you pull those pedals back, really pull the waist up and curl the tailbone down. Amazing, yes. And come back down to that plank position. And again, we're just gonna hold here. I promise we're not here for as long as before. Keep going. You're almost there. Good, now bring your toes out so they're at about like a hip's width distance apart, so they're a little bit wider. And then I want you to lower your knees down to just a hover to that reformer and pick them back up. Good, so lowering down and picking up. Still really pulling up in that waist as you lower the knees down towards the reformer. Good, you're gonna feel a really nice burn in your core. I know you're probably already shaking. I'm gonna cue a few breaks, but not too many. So if you absolutely have to take one, then please go ahead and take one, but I want you to jump straight back into the movements. Last few here. Really stabilize that upper body. What makes this even more challenging is that your hands are actually on a moving platform. So the goal is to really keep stability in that upper body so nothing's moving but your knees. Good, and from here you just have one more small movement before you get to take a break. So just pull the reformer in, this time bending your knees rather than keeping them straight, and press the reformer back out. Just a few. And amazing. On this last one, pull everything in and set your knees down. And then go ahead and lift those handles up so that way you can press into them versus them sitting down. Good, now from here, come out to a plank position, but this time you're on your knees. And then I want you to stabilize the whole body. The only thing that's moving is the arms. So you're just gonna slide the arms out in front of you and pull them back in. Good, so keep sliding them out and pulling them in. Your lower body shouldn't be moving at all. Your arms are just sliding as far as you can get them to go in front of you and then drawing them back in, stopping right beneath the shoulders. Good, now I want on this next one for you to hold everything out, really hold in this big extension. And good, come back in, moving back to those in and out. So we want your whole range of motion here. So pressing the arms out and pulling them back in. Again, keep that waist really pulled in and the tailbone really curled down. Good, and last time I want you to hold everything out and draw everything in. You guys can come to a nice child's pose. Take some breaths. I know we did a lot of work, but we're not here for too long before moving into another set of what we just did. So come back into that modified plank position and begin to slide your arms out and pull those arms back underneath you. Don't give up on me. I want you to keep going. Listen to the music, let it take you away. And again, hold. This is your last little bit of push here. And draw everything in. Good, come back to that child's pose, take a nice breath, and then now I want you to switch out that reformer. So rather than having those two handles glued together, I want you to take out that centerpiece so that way each pedal is able to move on their own. And then we're gonna come into another core exercise. So come into a plank position, but this time so that only your right hand is on that left pedal there. That's the only thing that should be able to move. Come immediately right back up into a plank position. And now you're moving the pedal in and out with just that right hand. So you're extending the pedal long in front of you and drawing it back in. The trick here is to make sure you don't dump all of your weight into like your left side body. So if all of your weight is over on your left side and your hips are dipping, I want you to really try and square those hips off. Good, now come center and we're gonna do some push-ups. So if you can, stay on your toes and push all the way down and come right back up. If not, of course, modify into that like modified push-up so your knees come down onto the floor. I know that advanced move up like a full push-up is very, very difficult. And then now I want you to hold. So wherever you're at, hold at the bottom just for a little bit and come back up. Good, again, moving into the movement we started with, except this time your knees are down. So it should feel a little bit easier. You can kind of work on squaring those hips a little bit more. So sliding the arm out and pulling it back in. And good, come back, take a child's pose, take a nice quick breath because of course we have to go and do it on the other side. So switch out those handles so that way that you can move them easily. Then come onto the other side so that your left hand is on that right side of the reformer. Come back into that plank position and again, slide your hand out and pull it back in. I want you to really think about having a nice plank position. So the waist is pulled up once again throughout all these. The waist is really pulled up and the tailbone is really, really curled down. Good, and extend the arm long in front of you and draw it back in. This is starting to really work our lats in that whole like arm. Good, now moving into push-ups. So again, come into those full push-ups as possible. I want you to try just at least one before going to the modified push-ups. Amazing. Again, this is really difficult because you are on a moving platform with one of your hands. Now hold at the bottom. Good. Keep holding, and come back up. And again, back out into those slides, except this time you're on those knees. You guys are killing it. Last few. And relax everything back into that child's pose. You can take a nice big breath here. Take a few seconds to just reset. And then you're gonna switch the reformer back so that those pedals are connected so they move at the same time. And then you're gonna turn around and place both feet onto those pedals. Come back into a plank position. It's probably easiest to just take a look at me. If there's ever a time you're feeling lost, just come look at me if you need a little bit of motivation. And we're just gonna hold in a plank position, again, recentering everything. And then we're gonna move to some shoulder taps. So just tapping one hand with the opposite shoulder. The goal here is to try and move your hips as little as possible. Even I struggle to do this because it's really difficult, especially on a moving platform. Then come back center and we're gonna go into some more crunches. So this time though, your feet are on that isolated platform and your hands are down on the mat. So pull the reformer in with the legs and press it back out. Good, so you're really gonna be working that lower core, which I feel like is the area that everybody is always like, I wanna work on. Well, this is your time. Good, now from here, I want you to bring this similar motion into a pike position. So without bending the knees, I want you to lift the pedal up, lift the hips towards the ceiling, and come back down. Amazing, this looks great. Keep going, I know this is challenging. Again, everything's really about control here. Good. Now draw everything down. Take a quick breath. You can lift your arms up to the ceiling to take a nice inhale and exhale. Take a nice stretch over to one side, and then you can stretch out the other side. But we are gonna do this one more time so you guys know what's coming. Super easy to follow along, so I want you to give it everything you got. Place your feet back onto that reformer. Slide the legs out, and again, come to that plank position just to get yourself kind of like recentered and moving to those shoulder taps. This time, can you move even slower on all of the movements? Good. Keep going. And now coming into those tucks. So you're bringing the knees in. When you're doing this movement, you don't want your hips to lift much at all. You want to just bring those knees towards your waist, keeping everything super close and tight, almost in like a ball position. You have a few more here before moving to that pike. Keep going. And now it's time to move to that pike. So this time the legs stay straight, and you actually want to lift your hips up as high as possible, almost as if you want your thighs to touch your stomach. Good. Keep going. Last few. Again, this is all about control. It's not about how many reps you can do. The slower you go, the harder it actually is. And amazing. Pull everything in, and again, take a nice stretch and breath. So just lower those handles down so they don't get in the way as we move into a little leg series. So you guys absolutely killed your center core, but we gotta work the lower body, of course. So you're gonna start with some lunges. Bring your right foot onto the mat, and then bring your left foot onto one of the platforms behind you. And then from here, I want you to just lower down into a lunge position, pushing the reformer out and coming straight back up. Good, so lowering down, make sure your knee doesn't go over your toes. I want you to try and really go all the way down so that front leg comes to a 90 degree. Good, and come back up. On this next one, I want you to go down and hold at the very bottom. So hold at your lowest point possible. Keep breathing, really roll those shoulders down, extend the crown of the head long to the ceiling. Bring your gaze just towards like the diagonal at the floor and come back up. Good, so again, we're going back into that full range of motion. So lower yourself down and lift yourself back up. Keep going. You have a few more here and just one more challenge. And on this next one, you're again gonna hold at the bottom, not for as long, but now I want you to bend that bottom leg into 90 degrees. And then from here, you're gonna start pulsing up and down. Good, keep pulsing and pulsing. This is kind of like a split squat variation. So pulse, pulse. And last few, hold at the bottom, extend the leg back out to that original position. Hold, 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 hold. And then all together, we slowly come back up to standing. Shake that out, stretch that out, do whatever you need to do. And then you are gonna move over. And of course, we have to do it on the other leg. So you guys know what's coming. I'm not gonna explain too much, but I'm just gonna let you fly on your own and enjoy the music. Amazing, you guys killed that. Again, take a nice inhale up and exhale, come down. Come actually all the way down to the floor. We're gonna do a little bit of inner thigh work. So bring your left knee onto those pedals and then begin to lower yourself down, then draw your leg back into the other thigh, bringing the reformer up towards you. Good. This whole time, I want you to really think about lifting from just the inner thighs. You can place your hands on your waist, or you can bring your arms out to a T position or above your head. That's going to get a little bit more cardio involved, but make sure those shoulders stayed rolled back and the crown of the head reaching for the ceiling. And come back in. Good. Switch sides. So we're not here for too long. It's just a nice little touch and a nice slight little burn on your inner thighs. Good. So again, lowering down and resisting as you come back up. I want you to see who can resist up the slowest. Good. And go back down. Again, there's not too many of this movement. And just like that, you guys are done with inner thighs. Come back up to a standing position. We're gonna do another lunge variation. Bring your left foot to the pedal and your right leg behind you. This time your front foot is on an unstable platform, so it's gonna be even harder to really control this motion. So we're gonna do a variation of where you're gonna lunge down, you're gonna come back up. You're gonna lunge down, and then I want you to pulse at the bottom and then come back up. Good, you have 3 sets of those. So as you go down, really pull the waist up. Last one, come in, and again, I want you to lower the leg down, really resisting gravity, pulling yourself back up. Make sure your spine stays in that nice vertical line. Now hold here and pulse again. This is your last one on this side. Amazing. Now draw everything back in. Good. So now you're just going to switch sides. So bring that right foot onto the unstable platform. Keep the other foot back planted into the mat. And again, lower yourself down and come back up. Make sure once again, those knees aren't going over your toes, and we want your front foot, really the whole thing pressing onto that's like moving platform. So we're not on our toes, we're on the whole base of our foot. And again, lowering down, coming back up. Who can move the slowest? Go back down, and again, moving into those pulses. Pulse, 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 and pulse, hold, and draw everything back up. Last one on this side. Pull the waist in. Even though we're working lower body, don't forget about the stomach. I feel like that tends to just be the last thing that we're thinking about, especially when we're not doing core. And draw everything back up. Amazing. Now come back down onto your butt, and then I want you to actually place the heels of your feet onto that moving platform. We're gonna do a little bit of hamstring and kind of work the back sides of your legs. So you're gonna press everything up into a reverse plank position, and you're just gonna draw your legs in towards your glutes and press them back out. We're not here for too long, so give me everything you got. Now hold on the out, pick up just your right leg and bend it in and stretch it out. The easiest way to do this is to just look at me while I'm doing it. So good, you're bringing the knee in, extending it out long. Keep the hips lifted. Can you lift the hips up even higher as you extend the leg out? Good, and draw everything back in and set it down. Okay, amazing. You guys have finished your lower body, so we're just gonna finish with a little bit of upper body. Go ahead and hook those bungees onto your reformer. You can also put the little foam pad underneath your knees if it's more comfortable. Feel free to pause the video if it takes you a little bit longer to get everything set up. Place your hands into those handles and then just begin to press your arms back behind you and resist them as they come towards your hips. Good, now hold at the back, hold at that farthest range of motion you can give me. Can you press your arms back even more, almost like you're trying to touch your hands together? And good, again, full range of motion, just pressing the arms out, 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 and amazing. Now twist your hands over and begin to open your arms out to the side. So this is almost like you're doing a lat raise. So again, really resisting against those bungees. Extend your arms up and lower them down. Good. Even as you're extending your arms up, really roll the shoulders down and then hold at the top here. And then resist everything down. Finishing with our shoulders in this series, so just extend your arms up straight to the ceiling and come back down. Good. Keep going. Can you reach your arms up higher? Hold. and release everything down to your side. You can go ahead and take off those bungees. Again, feel free to pause it if you need a little bit more time, but then the handles you are using, take off the bungee and put them in the center so that you can actually hold on to it and come into a plank position. From here, we're gonna go back into the shoulder taps. Again, we're not here for super long. You've already done so much work. So tap one shoulder and the other. Good, now moving to Spider-Man crunches. Crunch one leg towards your shoulder and then extend it out long and switch the legs. This is a nice finisher that really hits the whole body. And then come into a plank position and we're gonna finish off with push-ups. So pushing down and up. Of course, you can do those modified push-ups, but you only have a few more here. And just like that, you guys are done. Go ahead and take a nice child's pose back, come to a seated position, and just really be grateful for your body and everything that you did today. And I'll see you guys next time in another one.